Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Pisces September 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel, St. James Clairvoyant. Well, this month we have a deck you might be familiar with. It is called the Mariel deck. It's been around for a long time, but in my humble opinion, it is definitely still, according to my taste anyway, in the top 3 most beautiful decks ever produced. The artwork on it is just beguiling. You probably know that I provide clairvoyant readings to people from all over the world over FaceTime and Skype. And if you might be interested to see what's involved in that, just check out the information that's in the description at the end. And I charge for that. I have to. Got to somehow keep the lights on. But there's another spiritual gift that I was provided with at birth, and it's the gift of healing. Now, healing was provided, the healing comes through me and not from me, as you, of all people, would understand. And it was provided to me on the basis that I must provide it to people who ask for it, because it is never a coincidence if someone seeks a healing from me. I've been doing this since, well, longer than most of you watching this probably have even been alive. And every single person has been drawn in a way. So if this is speaking to you, and there may be some emotional issue, there may be something about your past, there could be something to do with what's happened in work or finances or physically, or whatever it may be. If this is speaking to you, then it's meant to be, and you'll know if it is. And if that's the case, don't be shy. Reach out to me, because I'm very happy to do it. It's my sole contract to do it, and I set time aside each day for healings. And the description has information attached to that. Now, there are no video advertisements breaking their way into this content at all, so you get to enjoy the experience of the reading uninterrupted by ads. Now, because they're very talkative, these cards, I'm going to take 5 and get it underway, so show me the magic. King of Swords. Good on you, King. Looking very kingly there. 3 of Wands. Very remarkable looking card. Very good for you. There's the Ace of Swords. Why would you not want the Ace of Swords? What is this? The Ace of Cups. Beautiful, beautiful energy for you, I must say. Meant for you, really. Well, obviously, it is for this time of year. And here, the Death card, and what a beauty that looks like. Well, why don't I bring the camera around so you and I can have a good close look at the imagery that's on these paintings together, while the cosmic energy swirls and speaks to us both, and I'll do the reading for you. Well, fascinating. I think we should deal with these aces first, don't you agree? Here we have the Ace of Swords. Now, who might be important to you during the period of the Ace of Swords? It's got a lot of you in this here, you personally, but I think Aquarius and Capricorn around could always show up in this thing. There's a great degree of intellectual clarity with you at this time, and original thinking, brilliant powers of thought. It's almost as if there is a divine inspiration going on here. There'll be a quick fire of thoughts and ideas here. Now, you will be able to create things. You'll be able to make them happen. It might also be the case that you get a new perspective on life that was previously unclear, so that you can get to the heart of any problems that are going on around here. You have a new vision, and I think you're going to pursue new opportunities which draw upon your emotional, mental, and creative abilities. Now, you might also find, because this is in a sword here, and this guy looks rather fierce, that you might be standing up for the rights of others. Now, I must say, I also think that there is a real possibility of you looking into yourself and understanding that it is all within you. There's this abstract information that's coming through that's hard to put into language. This is looking like a tree to me. Maybe I can do it by reference to a story about trees. You see, when I was a child and grew up near the water and near forest, trees were always the most penetrating of teachers, and I love them when they live in tribes and families, in forests and in groves. And even more, I like them when they stand alone. They are like lonely people, not like hermits who have run away out of some weakness, but like great solitary men like Julius Caesar or Napoleon Bonaparte. Now, in their highest branches, of course, the wind and the world rustles, and their roots rest in infinity. But they don't lose themselves there. They struggle with all the force of their lives for one thing only: to fulfill themselves according to their own laws, to build up their own form, to represent themselves. Now, nothing's better than a good, strong tree. When you see a tree that has been cut down, and when it reveals its naked death wound to the sun, you can see its whole history in those rings in the trunk, its scars, all the struggle, all the suffering, all the sickness, but also all the happiness, all the prosperity. They all do truly stand written there. The narrow years, the luxurious years, the attacks withstood, and the storms endured. A tree says, "A kernel is hidden inside of me, a spark, a thought. I am life from eternal life. The attempt and the risk that the eternal mother took with me is unique. Unique as the form and veins of my skin, and unique as the smallest play of the leaves in my branches and the smallest scars on my bark. I was made to form, and I reveal the eternal in my smallest special detail." Now, you'll have the clarity of mind, I think, at this time to say to yourself that, look, when things come upon us and we feel that, or you might feel that you can't bear living any longer, to be dramatic about it, well, a tree will also always have something to say to you, you know. It will say, be still, look at me. Life is not easy. Life is not difficult. Those are childish thoughts. Let God speak within you, and your thoughts will grow silent. You are anxious because your path leads away from mother and home. But every step and every day, they lead you back again to the mother. Now, home is neither here nor there. Home is within you, or home is nowhere at all. Well, it's appropriate, I think, to look at that other ace, and this is the Ace of Water, and it has, I'm sure, getting through some good messages here. Overflowing love, emotional clarity, lots of deep, fulfilled, loving relationships, and a love of yourself, giving and receiving. Now, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Libra are going to be important to you, I think. This is about abundance, love in abundance, possibly a birth or a pregnancy, a lot of sensual passion, and people are going to find you very sexually attractive, if I may say so with respect. The giving of love happens effortlessly, but you've got to take the risk. You see, all of us have, no doubt, at times, as I've had my heart broken by women more times than I care to admit to, but you've got to come back, because to love at all is to be vulnerable. You know that. Love anything and your heart can be squeezed and possibly broken. And if you want to make sure of keeping your heart intact, well, then you must give it to nobody, not even an animal. Rather, wrap it carefully around with hobbies, with work, with little luxuries, avoiding all entanglements. Lock it up safe in the casket or the coffin of your selfishness. Now, there is selfishness here, because you would not believe the effect that you can have on people. You are important. Now, in that casket or coffin, it sits safe, dark, motionless, airless, but it will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, unable to be restored, because to love is to be vulnerable. Now, it's also important, I think, the other message here, it's something for you to bear in mind, I think. I was talking about emotional repression is what I'm getting here. And the fact is that, you see, there is no great reward for being emotionally withdrawn. There's no pity prize for bottling up your frustrations. No one is coming to congratulate you for your chronic self-repression. By opening up, maybe you will inconvenience some people. Maybe you will trigger some conflict. Maybe you'll be rejected or criticized or judged. Well, everything comes with a price, but everything has its compensation. You should live the authentic life. And authenticity, it requires pain. Pain so that there is gain. Because then it will open the doors to joy, creativity, self-respect, and empathy. Now, self-repression, on the other hand, it costs you all the beauty of the world in exchange for a prison of comfort. Is that really worth it? Isn't it always time to break free? Now, I want to have a look at this particularly interesting painting that's here. Geez, and there's a beauty. And it is, what's the astrology of this up in that position there? It would be the sun in the second decan of Aries, the 31st of March to April the 9th, which is great because the sun is exalted in Aries, and so this placement is very favorable. Now, because you have the sun exalted in Aries here, you will enjoy a challenge, and you will be happiest when your life is moving forward and active. There'll be honesty here with you, great self-confidence, And I don't think that you are going to be making any compromises. You have the crystallization of your ideas. This is definitely a confirmation that you are on the right path. It may well be that a hobby turns into something of a business, a side hustle or something like that. I think you are going to understand and allow your own power free play without giving it over to anybody else in any attitude of subjugation. But your center is going to remain untouched and clear despite all this external dynamism around here. Now, reflecting on this point of internal stillness, I think that will allow you a new sense of self-confidence. And it's going to guard against an overload of unnecessary problems. The wisdom within you now is going to be strong enough to repel any anxieties and doubts which may arise. So any brooding, analytical considerations of the mind, they won't stand a chance when you are filled with the life energy and sense of vitality, as is indicated by all of this fiery red here. Now, that internal stillness that you're getting there, what am I getting here from this thing? I think you might have an appreciation of, or just start thinking about. Now, there's a death card here, which does not mean physical death, incidentally. But you're going to start thinking about eternity. What's next? Because you are an immortal spirit. But here, I suppose, that we can explain eternity as being in the outward scheme of things, in the external scheme of things, there are some shining moments. And these shining moments are as brief as the twinkling of an eye. Yet, such twinklings are what eternity is made of. Moments when you say, I love you, I'm proud of you, I forgive you, I'm grateful for you. That's what eternity is made of. Imperishable good stuff, like wonderful words spoken out loud that echo all throughout time. I think that you may well also come to understand that at the center of the universe is a loving heart that continues to beat and that wants the best for every person. Now, anything that you can do to help foster the intellect and the spirit and the emotional growth of other people, that's really your main job here, whatever you do for a living. And those of us who have this particular vision must continue against all odds, because life is for service. I think you also come to understand that you are a very special person. There's only one like you in all of the universe. There's never been anyone exactly like you before, and there never will be again. Only you. And people can like you and love you exactly as you are. Now, to move things along a bit, because I'm concerned about your time, of course, here we have, this looks like Mortar, the crone. Now, in the ancient Greek and Roman mythologies, the Fates, there were three women, and this is one of them, old women, old crones, that had a silken thread attached to every person, and when one of them cut that thread, that was when they died. Well, here we have Mars ruling Scorpio. Now the planet of fiery energy, Mars, here in its lowest form, which is necessary to provide the impulse to get things changed and moving along. A lot of transformation here. You're becoming free of old ensnarements. There's some endings. I think you're going to let go of some emotional attachments. In some respects, it's the end of an era or of a cycle that's going on here, because old relationships are demanding to be disintegrated. And this process may be bound up with some painful experiences. However, because this card is here and you can see it, this is indicating your readiness for this. Now, the act of letting go, difficult as it may be, it's actually going to free you. Now, death in mythology shows two faces, doesn't it? One destroying and tearing down, and the other freeing you from old bonds which have become confining and preventing you from living the authentic life. Now, which of these aspects is going to predominate for you? Well, it depends on your attitude, but I can say that any desire to hold on to or to cling to old bonds is going to cause their death to appear that much more agonizing. This is also a time of you facing your fears and breaking limits. You need to grow now, and you are. It's a transformation here, and this can sometimes give rise to a few unsettled feelings, but nothing to be concerned about there, because there is something in your life that is going to be dying, dissolving or disintegrating. Now, there could be a structure that you have created, or a pattern, or a habit, or a way of thinking about yourself or about the world. And this is necessary for new beginnings and this transformation in your life. So it may require you to face your darkest fears, but as you know, the old saying says that at midnight you can be assured that the sun will rise at dawn, and the darkest hour is just before the dawn. Now, in order to grow and abandon the old, death is your protection against stagnation. You're being forced to leave behind what you've outgrown here. I think that you are now ready to make the necessary changes in your life and to accept any aggravation that may come with the loss of the old. I will ask you this, though. To what outdated relationships or situations are you still clinging? Say this to yourself. I let go of people and situations with ease and with dignity, and every ending, it announces the new beginning. I can now say yes to death and yes to myself. And then in that process, I think you are going to be like a wind storm, setting goals, new goals, coming up with changes to your ambitions and what you are aiming towards. Here is the Gemini and Taurus are here. I think that's because there could be people around you, but I think you're going to have the energy of the mind, which is associated with Gemini, with the influence and stability and determination of the fixed sign of Earth, which is Taurus. You're going to be very active, clever, skillful, maybe even quite fierce and courageous. Now, as the king, esoterically, he is fire, and he's in the suit of swords, which is air. Well, fire and, whoops, just bashed my head on that. Fire and air love each other. They create firestorms. And I think what will happen as a result of that is that you will have a great degree of ambition, passion that's going on here, But your strong intellectual determination, that's going to be unified with a deep emotional perceptiveness. Because only those goals which are emotionally charged will be able to stoke up the fire of passion within you. And your body, intellect, and spirit, they're all going to be in harmony and flying along with you. Now, in a sense, I am getting the idea of attack here, of the violent power of motion applied. You will, I think as I mentioned, be like the wind, the storm. And I think you will be able to be, from time to time, absolutely, totally consumed with one or more ideas which come to you by way of inspiration. But you will have a clear insight into a problem, and you'll be working quickly to set goals without letting anything getting in the way. This could well be quite a restless period for you all around, you know, while you are changing and trying to get somewhere else, either within yourself, in everyday life, maybe travel. Certainly this is a time for you now to listen to the head rather than your heart. Yeah, restlessness in all the aspects of life. Maybe you want to get out of something to do with the workplace, I think. But you are, I think, going to be in a good position to forge plans, to set goals, and to make them happen. But do you know your goal? What is it? Write it down in one sentence, specifically. And what happens once you achieve it? And imagine how you will best be able to enjoy your success. Success is coming here. Say to yourself, I know my goal and I know what I am working towards. Each goal is just a milestone on the way to my ultimate destination. What a fantastic spread of cards for you, and made so much better by you being here. Well done, you. You did a great job. What a great reading for you. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I thought, and these cards are gorgeous, I think, in a way, but you know, I'm no artist, but they just appeal to me. Now, unless I see you privately for a clairvoyant reading or for a healing in the meantime, then I'll see you here again this time next month. And until then, though, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.